Wysteria, energy, twister. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Legends of Britany and the Lives of Marie of France when I was Superstition. The werewolf superstition is, or was, as prevalent in Brittany as in other parts of France and Europe. The term werewolf literally means man-wolf and was applied to a man supposed to be temporarily or permanently transformed into a wolf. In its origins, the belief may have been a phase of lycanthropy, a disease in which the sufferer imagines himself to have been transformed into an animal, and in ancient and medieval times a very frequent occurrence. It may, on the other hand, be a relic of early cannibalism. Communities of semi-civilized people would begin to shun those who devoured human flesh, and they would in time be ostracized and classed as with the wild beasts. The idea that they had something in common with these would grow, and the belief that they were able to transform themselves into veritable animals would be likely to arise therefrom. There were two kinds of werewolf, voluntary and involuntary. The voluntary included those persons who, become of their taste for human flesh, had withdrawn from intercourse with their fellows, and who appeared to possess a certain amount of magical power, or at least sufficient to permit them to transform themselves into animal shape at will. This they effected by merely disrobing, by taking off a girdle made of human skin, putting on a similar belt of wolf skin, obviously a later substitute for an entire wolf skin. In some cases, we hear of them donning the skin entirely. In other instances, the body was rubbed with magic ointment, or rainwater was drunk out of what is known as a wolf's footprint, left behind in the mud by rain. The brains of the animal were also eaten. Olaus Magnus says that the werewolves of Livonia drained a cup of beer on initiation and repeated certain magical words. In order to throw off the wolf shape, the animal girdle was removed, or else the magician merely muttered certain formulae. In some instances, the transformation was supposed to be the work of good old Satan. The superstition regarding werewolves seems to have been exceedingly prevalent in France during the 16th century. There is evidence, as we know, of numerous trials of persons accused of werewolfism, in some of which it was clearly shown that murder and cannibalism had taken place. Self-hallucination was accountable for many of the cases, the supposed werewolves declaring that they had transformed themselves and had slain many people. But about the beginning of the 17th century, native common sense came to the rescue, and such confessions were not created or credited. In Teutonic and Slavonic countries, it was accompanied by men of learning that the werewolves did more damage than the real wild animals. The existence of a regular college or institution for the practice of the art of animal transformation among werewolves was affirmed. Involuntary werewolves, of which class Biscleret was evidently a member, were often persons transformed into animal shape because of the commission of sin, and condemned to pass a certain number of years in that form. Thus, certain saints metamorphosed sinners into wolves. In Armenia, it was thought that a sinful woman was condemned to pass 7 years in the form of a wolf. To such a woman, a demon appeared, bringing a wolf skin. He commanded her to don it, and from the moment she became a wolf. with all the nature of the wild beast, devouring her own children, those of strangers, wandering forth at night, undeterred by locks, bolts, or bars, returning only in the morning to resume her human form. It was, of course, in Europe, where the wolf was one of the largest carnivorous animals, but the werewolf superstition chiefly gained currency. In eastern countries, where similar beliefs prevailed, bears, tigers, and other beasts of prey were substituted for the lupine form of colder climes. And that's just the lore of the werewolf regarding back then in the time of Britanny. If you've listened to my actual werewolf playlist, then you'll hear about all the, speculation, let's say, and all the folklore. But yeah, this is just coming from the Marie of France and her lays. Thank you for listening and many blessings.
Wysteria, energy, twister.